I'm Jace Neville with Neville and Sons. We're based out of Columbia, Missouri, and we were started in 1977 by my grandfather, who borrowed a couple of Von Schrader machines and started a side hustle while he was working as a diesel mechanic. So we've been around serving our local community for 46 years. Um, where it kind of he kind of grew the business to a size he was comfortable with, and then in 2005, my dad and uncle, who I'll call Kevin and Tony, beyond here, purchased the business from him, and we had three vans at that time, and we were grossing about 400,000 a year. And then when Kevin and Tony became the owners, they kind of took a few years to figure out what they wanted to do, how they wanted to grow the business, because they both knew they wanted to grow it. And then right around 2007 was the 30-year mark. They got more serious about growing the business towards um, uh, apartment complexes. So we have a university in town. The University of Missouri is here, and at that time it was growing as well. And we kind of grew alongside a lot of the apartment complexes that came into town. So in 2011 or so, Kevin and Tony went to Mikey's Fest in Nashville, and they met some other carpet cleaning companies and got some good ideas on how to grow the business, what other people were doing, kind of learned to work alongside their other people in different markets and figure out what people are doing, what works, what doesn't. And then they got more ideas going to more of a kind of a strategies class, and they got sales ideas and those kind of things, because both of them didn't have college educations, so they didn't have those kind of foundational things. So they learned those things, and then that established the more of a Tony then ran the office, and Kevin, when he wasn't in a van at that time, so still around 2011, Kevin would be doing sales calls and going to apartment complexes and those kind of things. And then over the years since then, we kind of grew from there. Started doing our first student housings in 2011. Started doing more than that in 2012, and then kind of grew from there. In 2018, I graduated college and came back home to work as the general manager, and primarily over carpet cleaning. And what that did was that freed up both Kevin and Tony to do more of the big picture thinking. Um, so then the following year, we purchased a local competitor that kind of did a lot more water restoration, and that kind of gave us we didn't really gain any. Uh, we didn't really gain any customers, but we gained some experience, some employees that taught us how to use Xactimate, how to do some of those processes a little bit better. Because we had always done water restoration up to that point, but it was more for our customer base. We hadn't really chased it. So since then, we kind of separated that off into a different business unit. And Tony now operates that uh, head on. And then uh, since then, we've grown that. This a year ago last month, Kevin stepped out and started doing reconstruction, something we call Neville's repairs. And that has been helping put back what we break in restoration, essentially, because we couldn't find, or people we were taking care of in restoration weren't getting taken care of on the putback. So we wanted to find and facilitate that. Currently, we sub that part out, but we are moving towards bringing some of that more in-house with employees today. So we bought the company in 2005. We had three vans grossing about 400,000. Today, we have 15 vehicles, 8 of which are truck mount carpet cleaning units, and we're doing about 7 times the revenue as 2005. So there's a drawing somewhere of me in kindergarten that's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it was a picture. My dad was tall, so it was a picture of like legs and a wand, and it said I wanted to be a carpet cleaner. Um, so that's what I've always wanted to be. That's kind of morphed as I've grown to understand what our business has become. Now I want to be a part of the family business. But yes, I've always wanted to be involved. I've always loved this company. So So, love our team. I have six current full-time employees as carpet cleaning crew leaders. We are a little different as we don't hire full-time technicians. So all of our full-time employees, as far as carpet cleaning, are crew leaders. And that's because we scale up a little bit differently in the summers because we do so much more work in the summertime. So, and we have range. I had a guy start 3 weeks ago, and I've had a guy working for us for 30 years. So we have a huge range in people that have been here and everywhere in between. But as far as finding the very best workers, and this changed a lot post-COVID, the people's motivation levels to work changed a lot. So we've taken the more of the approach of inviting people into the story that we are being a part of, or and that story, that idea is helping people protect, maintain, and restore their property, and helping our local community, Columbia, Missouri, be better than it was, or cleaner than the way we found it. That I've said it different ways, and that's kind of we've taken a two-pronged approach to finding the very best workers. One, we pay them well. Our starting base pay for carpet cleaning crew leaders is $20 an hour. I don't, we, that was a number we found happy with. It's a little higher than our local market. I don't know nationally where that's at. But that's one thing we wanted to pay very well. And then the other thing is helping people be a part of something bigger than themselves. And I think that's those twofold has helped us. And then we are very picky about who we bring on because a bad hire can be detrimental to the culture and the team that we've taken so much time to build. So there's a couple different things. One is our size. So in the summer times, I mean, we are significantly bigger than many of the local competitors, and means we have equipment and materials that allow us to string into the high rises and stuff that we take care of as far as student housing, because we do about 12,000 bedrooms over the course of the summertime here. So those kind of things mean that my full-time crew leaders become full-time van drivers during that time, and then we hire an additional 25 or so high school and college age students as summer workers, and some of those, when they have worked for us for four years or so, they become crew leaders themselves. So I have a whole another set of employees that I bring in over the summer, and I think that allows us to, I mean, going from 3 crews throughout this time of year, this slower time, to 8 crews in the summertime gives you a unique advantage to, if someone calls and needs something done immediately, you have the availability. But then at the same time, many people say it, but customer service is a thing that we take pride in, and that's not just saying it. That's acting it out. Like, we do everything we can to make them happy. We want to be, I've heard it said similar like the trash people. We want to show up and be kind of invisible, like just be consistent with how we operate, and not cause any headaches. So whether that's on a residential job site, we show up, be on time, be timely, and be efficient with how we operate. And people respect that because we don't want to take more time than we have to. And then as far as commercial properties, we, I think, are one of very few that I know of that my crew leaders don't go into the offices and get lists. Like, if we have a list of apartments that need to be done that day, that's myself jobs. That's Kevin, that's Tony's job. We run those, we run out ahead and find the list, organize the lists, and then all my vans have to do is clean carpet. And that's probably one of the biggest things that differentiates us, especially local. Post-COVID, the workforce has changed significantly, and that forced us to step into who we are, what we're doing, and not just showing up to work every day and just punching the clock and going to work. Because obviously you can get very far just doing that, but having a purpose with what you do and taking pride in taking care of people, which we've always done, we just haven't talked about in the same way to attract quality workers. Referrals is my absolute favorite. I mean, because you've been in we've served this community for 46 years. So you get those people who I'll go in and measure something up for somebody to do an estimate for them, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we knew your grandparents, and they cleaned work for us in the 90s." And it's like, man, there's like I was not even born then or something like that. Like that's one of those like talking to people who we've served that long ago has been is really cool, and making those people happy so they talk about other people. So we take a lot of focus on the customer experience, and then the follow-ups with the customers that we currently have, because we have the blessing that is a an established business. Um, as far as that, we haven't taken many routes on outside of that. We do a lot of work, donated work for different entities throughout town. In June and July to train a lot of my high school and summer, or in June specifically to train a lot of my high school and college age guys. We do free cleanings for local churches and a few nonprofits. And that one gives us free open space to train, but it also helps take care of those entities as well. Success for me and my company, and that is a hard question. I would probably say helping our community be better than what it was before. And if we can be drivers in that, that's a bonus. But we want to exist to help Columbia, Missouri be better than it was. We don't want to be a drain on the community, but we want to um, I want our existence to help the community be better. And I think that defines success. It's not a very specific definition, but it does drive a lot of how we operate as a company as well. At this moment in time, I would probably have to say, don't don't discount your relationships with your competitors, or even people in industry, in both in and out of market. Locally, I mean, we're the established business locally, so we have the opportunity to work with and help a lot of other people. I mean, we have equipment sitting around that we don't often use, but that might make someone else's job significantly easier. And we lend that out a lot of times. When it comes to restoration type work, we are our private inventory of restoration equipment is some of the largest locally, so we are able to rent that out as needed here and there as well. So that having those relationships with those local communities or local competitors is beneficial, and that helps that idea of taking care of helping our community be better. Because if those people are better taking care of the customer, everyone is better off. And then I think the second part of that question is out of market competitors. So we have a good relationship with Woodard in St. Louis, a rather large. They do in 2014 we subbed out all of our rug cleaning to them. And that's kind of how we operated there. That gave us more time to free up and work on our business rather than focusing so much time on that specific operation. But what that also does is we have good relationships. We can they're a different size than us, so we can call on them and ask them questions, and those kind of things. So having friends outside of market as well as inside of market can be hugely beneficial.